Hey guys, it's your boy Ahmed from Cologne Kingdom, and today, with summer coming up, we decided to do a roundup list of great summer fragrances that are affordable but also have a lot of quality to them in their scent and in their performance. So, in terms of affordable, we're going for fragrances below £100, a lot of them even below 50 to £20. And we're going for fragrances that aren't particularly niche. So there are summer fragrances that I personally love, but I know a lot of people don't like. So we're going for mass appealing scents that I think a lot of you guys will like. So let's get to it. So we're going to start off with the most expensive, affordable summer fragrances, and we're going to work our way down. The first fragrance on the list, which is the most expensive, but also in my opinion, the highest quality, is the Bleu de Chanel. Now, there is a lot of negative stigma with this fragrance in the fragrance community online. A lot of people consider this boring. I don't think it's boring. I think it's a classic. I think it's a timeless scent. And maybe that's why a lot of people don't like it because they've been scenting it for so many years. But it is an absolute classic. There is the EDT version of it and there's the EDP. Those are the two most popular. I think they're both as good as each other. As long as you don't get the parfum version of it, I think you're set. The EDT for me is a lot cleaner, it's a lot lighter, more spicy, and I think it just appeals more to the younger guys, whereas the EDP, the amber in it is a lot more controlled and prominent. It's just a bit more sophisticated of a scent. The performance is a bit better, but I think both of them are as good as each other. I just think the EDP is a bit more for the slightly older guys, whereas the EDT is for the younger guys. Either way, I think whichever version you get, it's a great smelling scent, high quality. The reason I think it's particularly affordable, even though it's just below £100, is that this for me is a long-term investment. And what I mean by that is that it is incredibly versatile. Like, even though it's perfect for the summer, I sometimes even wear this for the winter, but for the spring and for the fall, it works perfectly fine. It really is a signature scent. It's versatile as well in terms of occasions. So you can wear this to work, to college, but you can also wear this on dates. You can wear this going out. There isn't really that many places where this scent is out of place, if that makes sense. But most importantly, it's timeless. So throughout the years, like this came out more than 10 years ago, and believe it or not, it's as popular today. In fact, it's more popular today than when it was when it first came out. So there's a good chance that if you buy this in the summer of 2024, you could be wearing this in the summer of 4044, right? That's, yeah, 40, no, 2044, I mean. So you can be wearing this for a long time, basically. The second on the list is another Chanel fragrance. Now, that is the La Homme Spot. Chanel is one of the most esteemed fragrance lines, especially for guys. But when it comes to summer scents, there's just something about them that exudes quality and sophistication. Now, the Home Spot is, for me, a more sophisticated and a more gentleman version of Bleu de Chanel. So while Bleu de Chanel is perfect for guys under the age of 30, when I think of Le Home Spot, I think of a guy in his 30s or 40s, going to work in his suit to a big boy job, maybe a banker or an investment banker or a lawyer or something like that, Harvey Spencer type of guy. That's the type of person I imagine to be wearing this scent. It's a very aromatic, woody, sophisticated scent. It's just, I think, a picture perfect of what Chanel fragrances have produced in the last 15 years. It's why they're one of my favorite fragrance houses. So yeah, it's as pricey as the Bleu de Chanel. I just think a lot more sophisticated, but the quality of it and the performance of it, I think, is even better than the Bleu de Chanel. So they're two fragrances that sort of are pretty similar. I just think a L'Homme Spot is the more gentleman version. Now, next up on the list, we're going for fragrances under £60, which is about $80. The first on the list, it has to be Hawas or Sasi. Now, I don't have my bottle with me today, but this is a fragrance that if you're on fragrance TikTok or social media, you've heard a lot, especially last summer where it really began to blow up. A lot of people compare it to the Invictus Aqua. I don't really understand that comparison, to be honest. The Hawas Rasasi is a very loud, fruity, slightly synthetic, but very unique scent. There aren't a lot of scents like it. It just has, I guess it's the Middle Eastern Invictus Aqua, if anything. But the scent of it is very, very unique. Even though it's a lot more popular today, it's still not mainstream, as in, most people still haven't heard of this. So it does have that exclusivity to it. Um, the best thing about it is also its worst thing about it, though, and that's just how loud it is. Like, this is going to turn heads, which is great when you go out to events or if you're going out on a date, and girls tend to really like this scent. But you really have to think before you wear it, because if you're going to work, if you're going to college, if you're going to somewhere where you don't really want to be attracting too much attention, like a funeral or something, this isn't the scent for you. I think they've just come out with the Hawas Rosasi Ice as well. I haven't tried it yet, so I can't really recommend it. But I heard that is sort of an even sweeter, less aquatic version of Hawas Rosasi. So I'll be sure to try that out soon. Now, next up on this list, we have to go for Mont Blanc Legend Spirit. If I look at the last 2 summers, the fragrance that I've probably tried the most or used the most is this. And that's because this is a very lovely, very inoffensive scent. And what I mean by that is that it's extremely casual. If I'm going out and I'm not really thinking too much about what I want to wear, I can just put this on spray a couple of times. And it's very inoffensive when people scent it. So it smells good, absolutely. It smells like a high quality, citrusy, summer, masculine, very masculine fragrance, but it just doesn't turn heads, which I guess can be a bad thing, but also a very, very good thing. This is why you really need this one in your collection, because it's just for those days where you're not looking to attract attention. If you are a bit more introverted and you want people to think that you smell nice, but you don't want them to mention it, this is the type of scent that does that. The Versace Eau Fresh is a fragrance that is just very vibrant and uplifting. And if it's 2 words to describe the scent, it's vibrant and uplifting. It's just good for the outdoors. The slightly more extroverted characters, the citrus to it, and also the prominent starfish note that it has, which really is make or break. Some people like it, some people dislike it. I personally really like it, which is why I've used this fragrance a lot over the summers. But yeah, Versace Eau Fresh is on this list. So next up on this list, we have Bentley Silver Lake for men. This is a very lemony, minty, leafy scent. It's incredibly masculine. I think a lot of times with men's summer fragrances, fragrance houses, I think, struggle to keep the masculinity in the fragrances. But I think the woody, musky dry down in this fragrance definitely makes it incredibly masculine, but also has that leafy, vibrant green sort of vibe that you want for the summer. The negative to it would be that it is very summer. So it's incredibly summer. Even if you wear this in the fall or the spring, it sort of feels out of place. So if you buy this, the only months you can really wear this is basically June, July, and August. By September, it's no longer suiting, I think, the environment. So it's really a purpose summer fragrance. It's still at a very, very good price. The quality is very good. It's a very green, leafy scent that holds masculinity, I think, with the musk and the wood that later dries down. It's good. It's really good. Now we're going to look at fragrances below the £20 mark. I think this is about $30 in the US. I do want to preface that we are going to see a slight drop off in quality. I have to note that. That being said, if you are down to your last £20, £30 and you're looking for a fragrance, these are the absolute best you can buy for the summer. They are still great fragrances. These are still fragrances that should be about 50, 60, £70. So these aren't bad. It's just compared to the fragrances that I was mentioning earlier, we're going to see a slight, drop in quality naturally. Next up, we have the Cool Water Davidoff. Now, you've probably seen the intense version. In fact, you've probably seen this version quite a lot. If you're in sort of sports retailers or grocery stores, you've probably seen this a couple of times on the shelf, and you've probably wondered, should I buy this? The answer is yes. If it's for a summer fragrance, yes. Now, there's this version and there's the intense version. I think they're incredibly similar in terms of their performance and their overall quality. Which one you prefer, I think, will come down to your own personal taste, obviously. This is a very green, watery, aquatic lavender scent. Again, it holds that masculinity with a nice tobacco musky finish to it at the end. It does feel a little bit generic, not in a bad way. It's just that this fragrance smells similar to a lot of other great quality summer fragrances. In particular, if we look at the Mont Blanc Legend Spirit or the Eau Fresh that we mentioned earlier, This sort of has that citrusy aquatic notes to it that I think will remind you of it. That doesn't mean it's worse, that doesn't mean it's bad or synthetic. It just means it smells kind of common. So it's not an exclusive scent. It's not like the Hawaii Rasasi where you wear it and it's unlikely somebody else is wearing it walking down the street. You wear this, at a summer event, you might bump into one or two guys who are wearing this as well. That being said, the quality is good. The performance is also a slight negative. So especially in recent batches, 2022 to 2024, people have been complaining about longevity quite a bit. So that is a negative to this as well. But the scent itself is very, very good. Look at how much you can get for less than £20. So again, we can't be expecting the greatest ever performance if we're getting this much scent for that price. Next up on this list is the CK for one. Now, Calvin Klein fragrances aren't my favorite. I've spoken about it in the past on this channel, but this one in particular, I'll give it a pass, especially because of its price. One thing I do respect about Calvin Klein fragrances, though, is that they are affordable. They come at a price that is decent. This is incredibly citrusy. It's also unisex, so it's not very masculine at all. In fact, it's barely a cologne. I think this is a unisex fragrance. I do think it slightly leans towards masculine side, but yeah, overall I see why a lot of women wear this as well. It's just for those who are looking for a cheap fragrance, a good quality, decent performance, and not very masculine but very citrusy at the same time. This is probably what you're chasing. Now, last up on this list is the Nautica Voyage. Now, again, if you're on fragrance TikTok, you might have heard about this once or twice. This is actually my favorite affordable, probably my favorite fragrance under £20 or £30. It would have to be this. I really like this a lot. It's very green, aquatic, woody scent, proper masculine. The performance for this price is absolutely insane. I get about 7 to 9 hours of longevity on this, but I think it will depend on your skin and how it reacts to it. It's just good. It just smells nice. It's one of those scents that if we're judging by scent alone, it does feel like £100 fragrance. I think questions over its quality might come with the silage slightly and maybe the dry down, but the initial scent itself is absolutely supreme, world class. You can get this for less than £20. So if you are looking for a summer fragrance under £20, over the CK for one, over the Cool Water, this is the best. So if you're looking for a very affordable summer fragrance, I can't look past this one. Yeah, just absolutely top. So guys, that is our roundup review done for the affordable summer fragrances that you can be wearing for this summer. I didn't get too niche as I promised. I kept it mass appealing. I kept it, I hope, affordable. Quite a few fragrances there below the £20 mark, below the £50 mark. So I do hope you saw value in that. I hope you watched this video and now have a decent idea of what to get yourself for this summer or what you can get someone else for this summer. So I really do hope you enjoyed this video, and guys, if you liked it, please like, subscribe even, and comment below if you have any other suggestions that I can add to this video for next year. So thanks guys.